Shalom, everyone. Thank you for joining me. This is Jackie Yaki of High Adventure Ministries. And today, my very good friend, Barry Siegel, right from Jerusalem, Israel, is going to be doing an episode of his series, Roots and Reflections. Oh, it is wonderful. And it's about different places in Israel. You're going to be there to see and learn some biblical teachings right in the Holy Land. Come on, let's go see what Barry has to say.
Join us on Roots and Reflections for a look at the first of the 3 Jewish pilgrimage festivals to Jerusalem. Pesach, or Passover, celebrated for 7 days in Israel. It's a double celebration marking the Exodus from Egypt and the festival of the barley harvest. The name Passover applies to the Paschal sacrifice on the first day, the entire festival being called the Feast of Unleavened Bread. For the 3 great feasts, Jewish people came up from all over the land of Israel, especially on Passover, when numbers swelled by hundreds of thousands from the north, the south, the east, and west of Israel. Now, during the Second Temple period, Jewish people then came from other nations, such as Greece, Parthia, Asia, and Africa. This caused the population to swell enormously, and therefore this is the city of Jerusalem during the Feast of Passover.
The city swelled probably between 10 and 15 times its normal population size because it was a pilgrimage festival. So everyone came up, and if you look in the book of Acts just to see how serious they were about coming up to the pilgrimage festivals, and if you read where they came from, it was like a wagon wheel around Israel from all of the nations surrounding Israel.
You can be a Jew back in the United States, but it's a much different feeling being a Jew here. You feel like you're connected to something beyond yourself, beyond everybody. It's a great thing.
Tens of thousands of people gathered together here at the Western Wall Plaza to hear the Aaronic blessing from the Kohanim at Israel's 3 great feasts. And it goes like this: Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'yechuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yisem lecha shalom. Of all the Jewish feasts, Passover takes the most preparation. Even before food shopping and cooking take place, cleaning and getting rid of every trace of yeast or leaven can take weeks. The process is often stressful, especially to our wives. That's why it's important to give them our maximum support, like offering to carry the heavy shopping in the market or shuk.
Oh, it's so great to have Barry here. He's like carrying all my burdens and all my groceries. Isn't that great? Well, we need to have fresh goods. We can't do a holiday without the fresh goods. We have all the green stuff for the bitter herbs that we're going to be celebrating, and it's part of the blessings for the plates of Passover. So that's why I'm getting fresh stuff. We're going to be celebrating Saturday night, and today's Thursday. That's why it's so busy here. And it's exciting to come to the marketplace because everything is fresh.
Stage 1 is completed. That's the veggies primarily. Next is fruits and reflections. This shape?
Okay.
Or this shape?
But I'm going to get some things out of the charoset. Dates and walnuts, and you put almonds, shkadim, and wine. I add a few more extras. I add wine. I'm going to keep it as a secret. When you come to my house, I'm going to tell you how I'm going to make my hummus. Barry, you like those cookies, right?
Yeah, I love these a lot.
Because we can't use flours, they have all sorts of cookies made of coconuts and egg whites, or they have with
What are
peanuts.
these made out of?
Peanuts and egg whites and sugar.
Wow.
Nice. You want those?
Yeah. I like
Barry?
this place. Good macaroons.
Join Jackie Yaki and High Adventure Ministries as they embark on a journey of a lifetime to Israel. Take a boat ride on the Sea of Galilee and be baptized in the Jordan River. Travel to Masada, Nazareth, Mount Carmel, Caesarea, and Bethlehem, the birthplace of Christ. Then walk where Jesus walked as you explore the magnificent city of Jerusalem. Space is limited, so call 1-800-517-HOPE. Make plans to attend today. That's 1-800-517-4673.
But you know, I'm looking forward to this holiday. It's a very nice holiday. Chag HaAviv, Chag Pesach, Chag Cherut. It's the holiday of freedom. It's wonderful. We're free. We're free indeed with the Lord.
3,500 years ago, the sons of Israel were enslaved in Egypt. The Torah says, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage, in mortar, in brick, and in all manner of service in the field. The Israelites cried out, and God heard them, instructing a shepherd, Moses, to go to Pharaoh and demand freedom for his people.
But the Haggadah says that it's important for us to regard it as if we personally came out of Egypt.
The Bible doesn't specifically command a general spring house cleaning. It only says, for 7 days no leaven shall be found in your houses. However, this does imply careful cleaning to ensure no yeast or chametz remains. Well, this isn't just any garbage heap. This is a major house cleaning that takes place once a year, especially for Passover. But this will all be gone in time for the holiday. Nevertheless, we can say, Baruch Hashem, we've cleaned it all up.
What happens in a Jewish home is that the family has to prepare the home so that it's kosher for Passover. What does that mean? It means getting all the leaven out of the house. All of the foods that are forbidden to eat during Passover, which has any hint of leaven in it.
You shall keep the feast of unleavened bread. You shall eat unleavened bread for 7 days, as I commanded you, at the time appointed in the month of Aviv. For in it you came out of Egypt. None shall appear before me empty.
So we're preparing the house. We're getting rid of the things which are not kosher for Passover. And while doing so, you get rid of a bunch of old clothes and games and shoes that you've outworn as well. It's a very healthy experience, I think, because what you're doing physically can and most certainly should reflect what you're doing spiritually as well. We're preparing our hearts also for the Passover season, where we know that for a week we will not eat bread, we will not eat anything with leaven in it. Outwardly, you prepare your home, you prepare your kitchen. In the process, the rest of the house gets cleaned out as well. And I think that that's a good, healthy activity for all of us. We know we need to do something, so why not clean out all the rest of the mess at the same time?
The Bible says to get rid of the leaven, and we do that.
Do you do it with a candle?
No, maybe some people do, we don't.
The Torah commands, you shall eat nothing leavened. In all your dwellings you shall eat unleavened bread. The Apostle Paul may have been thinking about this verse when he wrote, a little leaven leavens the whole lump. Hunting for the chametz before Passover is very important because we want to make sure there's no leaven left in the house so that everything will be pure and clean. This is the excitement of the holiday. Wow! Oh! Look at this! Chametz! Yes, I do believe we've stumbled upon it, and we must do something about it. So we've brought the tools of the trade, the chametz killers. First of all, dustpan. Second, microscope to confirm that that really is chametz. A bowl to put it in. My little brush for the corners. my toothbrush for the fine granules, my little mascot Lammy, who will also confirm that this is truly chametz, and of course a squeegee for other items miscellaneous. Let's go at it. Lammy, what do you think? Yes, it's definitely chametz. Leaven. Definitely chametz. And we continue our search. Lammy, I believe we've missed one part here. Look, a basket and more crumbs. Ah! Now we're going to take this to the city and we're going to burn it.
It's the burning of the chametz, the burning of the leaven. And you'll see fathers and their children throughout every neighborhood in Jerusalem going out with whatever leaven, which other, products that still have yeast in them. You've gathered what was left in the house, that which you didn't eat, and you take it out into the neighborhood. And you see families gathering, and there are prayers that are prayed, and you burn that leaven so that you don't have any trace of it left.
אם אתה ממשיך לאכול חמץ, אז לא תאמר, אבל אם אתה לא אוכל יותר חמץ,
לא יותר.
אז תסרוק,
כן.
ואחרי זה תגיד מה שאני אגיד לך.
אוקיי.
עכשיו תגיד, כל חמץ וכל שאור.
כל חמץ
וכל שאור.
כל שאור.
שאור. שראיתי ושלא ראיתי.
שראיתי ולא ראיתי.
שביטלתי ושלא ביטלתי.
שביטלתי ולא ביטלתי.
שביערתי ושלא ביערתי.
שביערתי ולא ביערתי.
הכל יהיה.
הכל יהיה.
בטל ומבוטל.
בטל ומבוטל.
כעפר הארץ.
כעפר הארץ.
הכל בטל ומבוטל ואתה לא רוצה אותו כאילו אינו. לא שווה בעיניך בכלל וכמו הפקר. עד שבת בבוקר אפשר לאכול חמץ. אבל אתה כבר ביטלת, אתה לא רוצה לאכול, אמרנו.
החלפנו אותו. אבל אם יש עדיין אנשים שאוכלים עד הבוקר בשבת, איך הם יכולים לשרוף את זה?
לא, שורפים עכשיו, משאירים מעט, רק מה שאוכלים, אוכלים גומרים את זה.
This is the way it ends before Passover. All the leaven is burned, and it ends in the fire.
The Lord commanded us to remove the leaven, and that's what we're doing. So we bless God for that command and for the chance to remove the leaven. And as we're doing it, we also read 1 Corinthians chapter 5, because the physical pictures the spiritual, and the leaven becomes a symbol for things not wanted, such as things in our flesh.
Here in Jerusalem's Mea Shearim ultra-Orthodox neighborhood, the entire community takes very seriously the exhortation to eliminate leaven. Not only burning crumbs, but obliterating even the tiniest chametz molecular trace in cooking pots and tableware. Zechariah the prophet foresaw, yes, every pot in Jerusalem and Judah shall be holiness to the Lord of hosts. Everyone who sacrifices shall come and take them and cook in them.
Well, Batia has sent me with all these pots and pans to put into the boiling water to make it clean from all chametz. All the, of course, the things like wheat and flour that have been through this. So we've got to wait in line patiently.
Putting the pots in the boiling water, in order to make those pots kosher for Pesach, because they've been used all year round for other foods. So in order to help people, so some people go out and they have separate dishes and pots for Passover, but not everyone can afford that. So the rabbis make the provision and bring your pots, and they have special places set up in every city to perform this mitzvah, this good deed. And you see women and children and fathers coming, bringing all the pots. A lot of times you see the men doing it because the wives are back home doing the other cleaning of the kitchen. You see them come, and you see the boys from the yeshiva or whoever has the authority to do this koshering, this cleaning of the pots and pans for Passover. And they'll take the family's everyday dishes, dip them in boiling water, which then cleanses and purifies. And they take them out and they can be ready as if they're new for the Passover.
Now these pots with the handles weren't able to be put into the boiling water. Why? Because chametz could get in here And I forgot or didn't know, so I've got the screwdriver. Let's go for it. Handles come off. This is really screwy. Look at all that. Look at that. Look at, would you eat from that?
גם הברקים צריך.
אוקיי.
זה חייב למסיר שומנים לנקות.
אוקיי.
זה וזה ירד לך בלי בעיה, נביא לך מסיר שומנים. עכשיו זה, אתה רואה מה הולך פה?
כן.
אז אם אתה רוצה שיהיה לך יותר קל, אני יכול לתת פה אש, זה יכול להיות קצת שחור, ואז המסיר שומנים אוכל אותו מיד.
Well, I'm in trouble because I must have brought some pretty dirty pots. Under the handles was a lot of cooking oil and things on the side. It's just no good. So you saw that he sprayed it and fired it up to just purify it all. Now I got to take it off the pots. Bati is going to be on my case. Blackened pots by the handle. She'll think, what did I do? What kind of husband am I? Okay, can I pass test number 2? זה נכנס לקצב, אז הרגשתי את זה.
זה מאוד כואב, כן. אני קורא הידיים שלי גם. זה, טיפה נשרוף אותו.
Well, I've almost passed the test. Only one little piece. He has to turn up the heat on it. I'll be back. Ooh, look at, ooh, it hurts. Round 3. If not, I'm gonna get a pot belly from this. Chag Sameach, Toda. I passed. Test 3. It's done. It's finished. It's great. Let's go.
Once again, I think this is symbolic and a very healthy practice that we too need to wash ourselves, cleanse ourselves, put ourselves through that boiling water so that we can be purified and be made clean.
You wouldn't believe what they did to my fingers.
What happened?
These are the pots. Look, all this had to be clean. Look at my fingers. But you know, if you're gonna clean them, you gotta clean everything. Everything around it. Caps, you name it. All the leaven is out of the inside parts here because it hides it. All the fat and grease from cooking and the oil. So you have to get in there and you have to spray. And I sprayed it and I sprayed it. And I finally passed the test on the 3rd time. But you have to polish it. And the screws.
Together, wow.
Yeah. But it's done. It's finished. It's kosher. Mission accomplished.
Great, but how do I know what belongs to what now?
Bye.
Hey, you're leaving me with the problems. Come on.
Join Jackie Yaki and High Adventure Ministries as they embark on a journey of a lifetime to Israel. Take a boat ride on the Sea of Galilee and be baptized in the Jordan River. Travel to Masada, Nazareth, Mount Carmel, Caesarea, and Bethlehem, the birthplace of Christ. Then walk where Jesus walked as you explore the magnificent city of Jerusalem. Spaces limited, so call 1-800-517-HOPE. Make plans to attend today. That's 1-800-517-4673.
The culinary specialties for the Seder meal at Passover are multiple, from lamb to matzo ball soup. One of the principal elements on the Passover plate is charoset. The rabbis interpreted this food, charoset, as a symbol of the mortar prepared by the Israelite slaves in Egypt.
There's a lot of hard work to prepare for Pesach. Now is the fun part. Let's do the charoset. Charoset for the mortar. So here we go. The most important ingredients for the mortar, this is the Yemenite charoset. And what we're going to do here is we're going to use dates, we're going to use raisins, we're going to use almonds, walnuts, and sesame seeds. And I already pre-soaked most of the ingredients with fruits, and then we're going to use some apples, we're going to put some cinnamon, and for here, I think this is called cardamom, very strong, very nice, just to give it a little bit more flavor. We have, of course, the honey date, which you're all familiar with, and we're just going to start by putting everything together and mixing it and having a great charoset for this Pesach. So I pre-soaked the dates with the raisins last night. I put it in a pot just to let it soak together and be softened. And we're going to put it in the blender. You can put grape juice or you can put wine, whichever you like. It's better to pre-soak it because it's easier to blend. And we're going to put the apples in, put some of the dates, the date syrup. 2. I'm going to put 3 spoons to start with. Now I'm going to put a little bit of grape juice just to make sure it's liquidy enough, just a tiny bit. Afterwards I'll add the nuts. First I'm going to try and do this to make sure. I have to give it a little more push. Juice. I'm going to add a little bit more date syrup. Alright, it's getting there. Let's add the apples, the rest of the apples. And more juice. It's okay, I'm going to have enough for my l'chaim glass. It takes patience, you know. The Israelites were for 40 years in the desert. It took them time to make these, so I'm sure they didn't have blenders in those days. I wonder how they made their charoset there. But I'm telling you, I'm happy I have my blender to make my charoset. Yes, they use stones. Okay, good. Now we're going to add the nuts. Ooh, it looks yummy. Let's add the nuts. I soaked the almonds a little bit in water so it's easier to blend. And put some sesame seeds. And then we're going to put some walnuts. And a dash of cinnamon. And the cardamom. And let's just blend it all together and it should be ready in a few seconds. Yeah, I think so. Let's put it in a nice dish. And, well, my charoset is done. That was fast. To be honest, when my mom used to make it when we were children, it took us hours because we would grind all the nuts. Now let's get a dish. Let's get Barry. Barry, you have to come and taste my charoset. Tell me if you think it's as good as my mom used to make.
Well, I don't know. As good as your mom used to make is a big challenge, but I think as good as Mom's daughter makes is gonna be great.
Wait, I'm gonna give it to you in a matzah, and don't like it too much, because there are many people that need to eat this charoset on the eve of Passover. So I'm willing for you to taste. Hold on, I'm gonna give you a spoon, if I can find a spoon.
But
Okay.
that spoon, it's nice.
Yeah, actually, take a smaller one.
Okay.
And tell me what you think.
Oh, it's just like mortar. Look at that. Look at the way that spreads. Just beautiful. Here we go. Try some of that. That is just so good. That is wonderful. This is the best charoset north of Egypt. Come and try Batya's charoset. Wow.
Thank you for being with us in Roots and Reflections, our program from Israel, bringing you insights to the land of the Bible, its history, natural beauty, people, food, tourism, and much more. Your donations to help produce Roots and Reflections are much appreciated.
Well, thank you for joining me again today. That was wonderful. I also want to thank my good friend Barry Siegel, the president and founder of Joseph's Storehouse. He's our partner and friend. Now listen, let me remind you, the Bible says, for all those who want to prosper and who will prosper, pray for the peace of Jerusalem.
Be